Hello there. Today I'm going to talk about the 5 different types of rejection and how I think one can respond to them and what I think one can learn from them. So the first and easily the most kind of pernicious is silence. It's far too common and I think it's a bad feature of the way that the publishing industry can work. To hear nothing back is particularly cruel. Because it leaves one dangling between wild hopes and wild disappointment, and that's just a very unfair place for anyone to be. However, I think it's really important to understand that 90% of the time, at least, this will simply have happened for reasons of inefficiency, reasons of just being busy and forgetful. We get a huge amount of submissions, and sometimes some of them fall through the cracks. So have that as your base assumption, and don't be afraid to politely nudge after a couple of months, and then politely nudge again a month later. If you've heard nothing back still, then you are dealing with someone who you emphatically do not want to be doing business with. So leave it at that. I mean, you can flame them if you want, but that's the one thing you do know is that you don't want to be doing business with someone who is either that inefficient or that indifferent to the plight of the people they're working with or might be working with. So the second and most common form of rejection is the stock no, the little slip saying thank you very much but not for us. And that tells you more than you might think. It either tells you that you're writing something that just doesn't work commercially. It's a weird genre. It's a cross genre. It's a genre that's out of fashion. It's something that won't sit in a bookshop happily, or that the plot and the writing it just isn't framed right. It isn't good enough. It's not tight enough. Your writing is imprecise. Your plot is imprecise. Your characterization is vague and uninteresting. And you need to be tough with yourself about that. Getting feedback is incredibly hard, and one of the disappointments I feel at getting this kind of feedback is how little it tells you. You want to be told those difficult things. There are places out there that you can get it. The modern world, is easier for that. I think the one bit of advice I would give about that is you need tough feedback. So, as a writer I know put it, never try and get feedback from someone you would be prepared to lend money to, because it simply won't be harsh enough. So the third rejection is when agents ask you to send in the full manuscript and then say no. Now that can be a particularly disappointing one because obviously there'll be a moment of wild excitement that you think, great, they've asked to see the whole thing. And then you just get a, no, not for us, and you think it's completely crushing. What that's telling you is lots of good things, actually. You've clearly framed something that is commercially viable. You're clearly capable of making your first 3 chapters pretty good. There's some good quality in your writing. And really what it's saying is that you're not pushing yourself hard enough. You need to make the whole thing work, so that page 7 is as good as page 70, is as good as page 270, and the plotting works all the way through. So it's a call to really, really hone your craft at that point, and really continue to be tough with yourself. The final form of rejection, number 5, is my kind of favourite, and it's the most exciting form, which is you might call the sort of no but yeah but and it's something I do probably more often. I very rarely get things that I absolutely think, gosh, I've got to sign that up at once. I love it, but there are quite a fair few of things where I think that this has got real potential, and I'd love to see what the writer can do with it. And I cross my fingers and I give quite extensive notes, and I will talk to the author and I will engage with the process. But I'll be very clear that representation is pretty much conditional on us getting to a point where there is a product that I feel I can take to publishers. Because really, until that point, I can call myself your agent. You can call me your agent. But until I'm actually selling something for you, I'm not your agent. That's how I see it anyway. And it can be a difficult process, and some people just simply will have reached the peak of where that novel can get to, and so the next iteration just doesn't really take it forward at all. Other people I will send long and detailed notes to, and they will send me long and detailed rebuttal of each of the points I've made in those notes, which is an instant parting of the ways as far as I'm concerned. Other people do that dreamed of thing of taking my notes, coming back to me, and not just doing what I asked for, but doing way more than I asked for, and completely nailing it. And it doesn't just come back 50% better, it comes back 100% better, 150% better. And that's incredibly exciting. And that is a real sign of talent. The ability to take notes is pretty much, I think, universal with the best writers. So there we go. Those are my my list of 5 types of rejection, and I hope that's useful. Thanks very much. Bye.